What's up, y'all, and welcome to Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast presented by Old City Sports Network, the best network for all your Philadelphia sports needs. This is your host, Michael Roscoe, and the Philadelphia Eagles fucking did it, y'all. They are your 2024 Super Bowl champions, bringing back the Lombardi Trophy to the city of brotherly love. We're going to recap that game and discuss the win, as well as talk about some Eagles news. So without wasting any more time, let's kick things off with a scoring recap of that Super Bowl victory. Starting in the first quarter, after a 26-yard passing catch from Jalen Hurts to Jahan Dotson was ruled short of the goal line after originally being ruled a touchdown. It's first and goal with under 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the quarter, and a brotherly shove helps the Eagles get the first points of the game on the board. Eagles up 7-0. Going into the second quarter, after a bogus false start call on Eagles long snapper Rick Lovato, with just over 8.5 minutes left to go in the half, it turns a 43-yard field goal attempt into a 48-yard one, but it doesn't matter as Jake Elliott makes his kick. Eagles on top 10-0. After two back-to-back sacks on Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs find themselves in a 3rd and 16 situation within their own 30 with under 7.5 minutes to go. On that play, Mahomes escapes, rolls around, fires a pass, but it's intercepted by slot corner Cooper DeJean, who takes it down all the way to the end zone for a pick six. DeJean's first NFL interception and touchdown, all happening on his 22nd birthday in the Super Bowl. Eagles extend their lead 17-0. With under 2 minutes to go in the half, after a Zach Bond interception in the red zone gives Eagles fantastic field position. It's 2nd and 8 out of the shotgun. Hurts back, looks around, sees A.J. Brown on a crossing route, fires, and it's caught, and Brown tiptoes along the sideline into the end zone for a touchdown. Eagles 24, Chiefs nothing. In the third quarter, with under 5.5 minutes left, Jake Elliott lands another field goal for the Birds, increasing the lead 27-0. With under 3 minutes left to go in the quarter, after cornerback Avonte Maddox comes up with a great PBU on Patrick Mahomes to turn the ball over on downs, it's 1st and 10. Hurts steps back, looks deep, and absolutely launches it, and it's caught by Devontae Smith in the end zone for a touchdown. Eagles 34-0 over the Chiefs so far. With under a minute left in the game, after Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs cross midfield for the first time in the game, it's 1st and 10 on the Eagles' 29-yard line. Mahomes rolls right under pressure from Brandon Graham, running towards the sideline, but throws across his body to find wide receiver Xavier Worthy in the end zone for a touchdown, the first of the game for the Chiefs. They would go for a 2-point conversion, but it is no good. Eagles 34, Chiefs 6. In the fourth quarter, with under 10 minutes left in the game, after the Eagles could not convert on a third down, Jake Elliott hits his third field goal of the game. Eagles 37, Chiefs 6. With under 8 minutes left in the game, after a Milton Williams strip sack and fumble recovery, it puts the Eagles in a great field position. They play a little conservatively with the run game, and it sets up Jake Elliott's fourth and final field goal of the game, which is good. Eagles 40 to Chiefs 6. Just about 3 minutes left in the game. It's a 3rd and 6 within the Eagles red zone. Patrick Mahomes steps back, fires, and finds wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins for a touchdown. The Chiefs would successfully complete a 2-point conversion. Eagles 40, Chiefs 14. And with under 2 minutes left in the game, after the Eagles' backup offensive players don't convert on a 4th and 6, the Chiefs get the ball back against the backup defensive players for the Birds. Patrick Mahomes steps back, airs it out, and finds Xavier Worthy once again on a deep pass for a touchdown, followed by another successful 2-point conversion. The Chiefs would go for an onside kick after this, but Eagles tight end Grant Calcaterra recovers the kick, and at this point, the Birds can just take a knee to end it with a final score of Eagles 40, Chiefs 22. The Birds thwart the hopes of a Chiefs three-peat to become your newest Super Bowl champions. Jalen Hurts would finish 17 for 22 for 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, while also carrying the ball 11 times for 72 yards and a score on the ground. Running back Saquon Barkley had a quiet game for him, carrying 25 times for just 57 yards, while making 6 catches for 40 yards in the air, and wide receiver Devontae Smith would lead the receiving corps with 4 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. All right, y'all, I know that was a hell of an exciting game, and we're going to talk about that, but first, let's go ahead and dive into some Eagles news, with obviously the biggest piece of Eagles news this week is that we are the fucking Super Bowl champions, y'all. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl 59 champions. God, I just can't say that enough. In addition to this, the Eagles Super Bowl victory parade will be tomorrow on Valentine's Day on Broad Street in Philadelphia, and I wish I could be up there partying with everyone, but I am a cool 4 hours away from the city. It's just not in the cards for me this time around, but everyone who's going to be up there and partying with everybody, please stay safe, but also have a lot of fun. In other news, it is officially official. We kind of knew about this for a while, but it's pretty much set in stone now. Offensive coordinator Kellen Moore will no longer be a member of the Eagles staff, as he has finalized that deal with the New Orleans Saints to be their head coach. I wish they wouldn't poach coaches until after the Super Bowl. Thankfully, this time for us, it seemed Moore's mind was still in the right place with the Super Bowl, and it didn't cost us with him, talking with the New Orleans staff, kind of like how it did with Jonathan Gannon. But Kellen Moore did a tremendous job with this offense, and I know this is the path for a lot of secondary and assistant coaches in the league to get a head coaching position. So to Kellen Moore, I got nothing but love for you, and I wish you all the best in Louisiana. Thank you so much for helping us get to the Super Bowl and for helping create one of the greatest Eagles teams we've ever seen. We're going to miss you. And in terms of a replacement, there's nothing official yet. There's been rumors of the Birds looking internally at current Eagles pass game coordinator Kevin Patullo to take the job, but we'll just have to wait and see for now until an official report on that replacement comes out. All right, y'all, let's dive into this game with some discussions, opinions, and overreactions, starting with the offense. Our offense held their own, despite Saquon Barkley being, quote, shut down, which I don't even really think that was the case, even with his numbers. I have it in quotes because even though Barkley only rushed for 57 yards, he was able to put up another 40 in the air, so almost 100 total yards. And even though the Eagles only managed 135 rushing yards on the ground for the entire game against a very stout Kansas City front line, Hurts' legs helped him as much as his arm did to earn this victory. Jalen's 72 rushing yards broke the record, which was previously held by him in Super Bowl 57, for most rushing yards by a quarterback in the Super Bowl in league history. And these weren't just tush-push rushing yards, y'all. He had a few big gain rushes when the passing options were limited or non-existent at that point. Plus, you had Saquon Barkley making tremendous blocks for Hurts. On these and many other plays that kept our run game alive and efficient enough to put our offense into these scoring positions. Let's not forget how important running back blocks can be in games, and Barkley did a hell of a job holding his blocks to help the offense make plays. Our O-line, they held their own as well, for sure, allowing only 2 sacks for a total loss of 11 yards. Meanwhile, Kansas City O-line allowed 6 sacks for a total loss of 31 yards. The boys up front held their own while also playing clean football, with the O-line only committing 2 penalties the entire game. The passing and receiving game got the job done as well, with 4 out of 6 targeted receivers accumulating over 40 yards, compared to only 1 targeted receivers on the Kansas City Chiefs doing the same thing. Devontae Smith would lead the receiving corps, again with 4 catches for 69 yards and that 1 lone score, which would be an absolute dime thrown by Jalen Hurts for 46 yards, ending with an incredible over-the-shoulder catch from Devontae Smith. It was just, textbook perfect at that point. Jalen only threw 5 incompletions, with 1 to 2 of them only really being bad throws. 1 was attempted to A.J. Brown, and I think 1 was a cross over the middle over the lineman in Barkley's direction, but anyway, most of the throws were spot on. I believe the Chiefs spent so much time and energy trying to figure out how to stop Saquon, yet just forgot about our other offensive playmakers that can get the job done. Yes, Saquon only had 57 rushing yards, but if you look at the bigger picture, Saquon himself had more rushing yards than the entire Kansas City offense combined. Yeah, that's right. Saquon had 57 rush yards, while the entire Kansas City offense only had 49 collective rush yards. Just let that sink in. Overall, for as much as the media has talked about Saquon Barkley being the offense, they seem to have forgotten that we have Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and others that can make plays on the offense. Barkley has been a huge component of this offense, but he has not been the entire offense. And in that game, we just showed the world that even when Saquon Barkley is not putting up 200 plus yards on the ground or 3 touchdowns, that our offense can still do what they've been doing all season long, which is putting up hella points and getting dubs. An absolutely fantastic job by this Philadelphia offense. All right, moving on to the defense. As much as I love how Jalen Hurts and our offense played, I'd be fucking silly not to acknowledge the dominant ass-whooping performance this Philadelphia defense put up. Chiefs fans probably look at what Philly did to Pat Mahomes and that KC offense as a war crime. Let's start by talking about that front line for us. They sacked Patrick Mahomes a career-high 6 times while rushing no more than 4 players and blitzing an astounding 0 times. Yes, you heard that right. The Eagles rushed only 4 the entire game, had the second highest pressure rate in Super Bowl history with 53.3%, and did not blitz a single time. Josh Sweat thrived with 2.5 sacks, 6 total tackles, including 2 tackles for loss, and 3 quarterback hits. Milton Williams just had a fucking day with this Kansas City offense with 4 total tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 1 QB hit, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery, taking the title of the highest graded defender in this game. Williams was a superstar. Dude, he has been a low-key machine for the first couple of years on the team, and then he's just exploded in popularity and performance over these last 2 years. He'll be one to look out for in free agency, and hopefully the Eagles can do something to keep him around because I love the dude. I think he's fucking fantastic, and he needs to remain on this Philly football team. But overall, that D-line showed the world they're the best to do it and massacred that KC offensive line. For our linebackers, Zach Bond put on another theatrical performance with 7 total tackles, 1 pass deflection, 1 quarterback hit, and 1 diving interception to set up the Birds for another touchdown. Oren Burks, in relief of Nakobe Dean, performed well yet again with 5 total tackles, 3 of them being solo. Just absolutely amazing out of this linebacker core. Now, both Burks and Bond are set to hit free agency, and I know for Eagles fans like me, Bond is our number 1 target to keep in free agency. I do think we should somehow also try to keep Oren Burks because he's been phenomenal stepping up as a starter after primarily being a special teamer, but I'll dive more into free agency as we get closer to that time on another episode. Finally, let's talk about our DBs, especially the DB who was officially deemed the highest graded corner in the league, none other than Cooper DeJean, aka Cooper DeJohn. He had 3 tackles, all solo, 1 pass deflection, and 1 interception return for a touchdown, a pick 6 on his fucking birthday in the Super Bowl is something out of a fairy tale. Here's a wild stat for DeJean, y'all. He has scored more touchdowns than he's allowed all season thanks to that pick 6. To not only not allow a single touchdown all year, but to score one as a rookie corner on the biggest stage in sports, this man is something special. Thank you, Washington, for trading with us, allowing us to draft a man who honestly was expected to be and should have been a first-round pick, and we got him at pick 40. 40, y'all. DeJean was also very close to getting Super Bowl MVP as he led the fan voting category, which apparently accounts for a quarter of the MVP, deciding process or whatever you want to call it, which I'll be honest, I didn't even know that was a thing, but it's a cool fact. As for the other DBs, they did a solid job as well, with Blankenship, Gardner-Johnson, and Mitchell all accumulating 3 tackles apiece. You had Darius Slay with 2 tackles, and our depth guys with Isaiah Rodgers and Avonte Maddox, each accumulating 1 solid pass breakup each. Overall, Vic Fangio took one of the worst defenses in football from the 2023 season and turned them into a Super Bowl winning force to be reckoned with. Between Josh Sweat's 2.5 sacks, Cooper DeJean's birthday pick six, Zach Bond's touchdown-setting interception, Milton Williams' strip sack fumble recovery, and more, this Eagles defense did everything right and had one of the biggest turnarounds that I've ever seen in modern NFL history, and this will likely go down as one of the best defensive performances in a Super Bowl in league history. All right, before we go this week, I just want to say this about this team and this season. This season was one of the greatest Eagles seasons I've ever witnessed. We thought originally we were going to see a 2023 resurgence when the Birds went 2-2 going into their early bye week. I know a lot of people were freaking out. I was freaking out. We should have won against Atlanta. We're one drop away from 3-1. But hey, apparently everything happens for a reason. But since that bye week, they went 17-1, making it all the way to the big game and not only getting there, but winning it in a dominating fashion. I told my fiance maybe like 3-4 months ago that I had such a strong feeling that we could win the Super Bowl this year. And here we are now with Philadelphia making a complete 180 from the end of the 2023 season to take a second Lombardi trophy to the city of brotherly love. The journey that this team has been on has been nothing short of immaculate. And I just wish my grandfather was alive to have seen this game. But I know he's been watching with me all season. He was watching with me from above in this Super Bowl game. For us and Eagles fans worldwide, this will be a season we will always remember. Congratulations to the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, y'all. All right, y'all, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow us on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok by searching at 2nd and 15 or by the full name 2nd and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast. You can also find the audio for each and every single episode releasing Thursday mornings on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Player FM, or wherever you get your podcasts. This episode, 2nd and 15, and Old City Sports Network are sponsored by Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. Use our promo code OCSN for 15% off the best craft beef jerky around. Any orders over $50 will get free shipping. We are also brought to you by Warlord Beard Oil. Use promo code OLDSPORTS, that's old with an E at the end, sports, one word, all caps, at warlordbeardoil.com for 15% off your beard oils, washes, soaps, other products that you need for all your beard care needs. Orders over $75 will get free shipping. We're also brought to you by SeatGeek. Download the app and use our promo code Old City Sports Network, all one word, for $20 off your first purchase for your next concert, your next sporting event, whatever you're planning on going to see. Download SeatGeek and use our promo code today. We also got some local sponsors, including Robert Hancock Construction. If you're in the Philadelphia region and maybe, I don't know, people were partying crazy and your house got a little bit of damage, maybe you lost a piece of siding, maybe your roof or your deck needs fixing up, go ahead and call the number one contractor in the area at 610-348-1066 and get a free estimate on your next home project today. We also have Decals by Aaron as one of our local sponsors for all your Delco products and merchandise. Your number one spot for everything Delco. Check out decalsbyaaron.com today. And finally, we have Iron and Steel Threads. Visit ironsteelthreads.com and use our promo code OldCity10 for 10% off the entire website, and a portion of the proceeds will go to youth hockey organizations. And don't also forget to go check out oldcitysports.com. Click the article tab if you want to read articles from the various shows, as well as that merchandise tab to get some awesome 2nd and 15 merchandise. Once again, thanks y'all for joining in. This is 2nd and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast presented by Old City Sports Network. Even though the NFL season is officially over for now, that doesn't mean that we won't have any content to talk about. From the combine and free agency to the draft, OTAs, mini camps, and everything in between, we will continue to deliver content about the NFL and your Philadelphia Eagles. We'll see you all next week, and congrats once again to the Eagles, your 2024-2025 season Super Bowl champions, baby. Don't forget to stay fly like an eagle, and as always, go Birds.